You will find everything you need for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show. Coming up after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to talk to MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. There is a huge weather system about to impact the United States. We're going to feel the frigid end of it. We'll talk to Mark about that. At 11 o'clock, we'll learn about the Midland Area Community Foundation and something going on there. But we have open phones for this hour. 989-752-6111 is the number to call. And that weather tops the news this morning, even though Davos and all that's going on. Because starting today, this winter storm is beginning to take shape and will run from the southwestern U.S. all the way up into New England. And it's going to be accompanied by, in some places, very heavy snow. In other places, like here, frigid temperatures, where our high tomorrow, I noticed they raised it. They were saying 4, now they're saying 6. Either way, folks. Add the wind chill to that, and we're going to be well below zero in wind chill tomorrow. And it will stretch through the weekend. And we'll move across to the East Coast by the time the weekend is over. They're saying this is a large and potentially historic storm. And snow is expected from the southwest to the northeast and everywhere in between. But portions of Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia could receive up to 24 inches of snow. Other areas are going to get freezing rain, which will cause impact. And I would suggest that if you have travel plans for this weekend, you check ahead with your carrier, Amtrak, roads, to know what you're getting into. There are bound to be a lot of interruptions in transit. So just giving you a fair warning, this is not going to be one to play with. And again, we'll have Mark Torregrossa here right after the 10 o'clock news to chat about it with us. But it is described as a major and in some cases historic weather event. So just be prepared. All right, so I did mention Davos, and a couple of things have come out of Davos. The president, again, and I wish he wouldn't do this. I really do. Trump says, Ukraine deal coming soon. The reason I wish he wouldn't do it is he's done it before and we still don't have a peace deal. Instead of telling us it's coming soon, wait and tell us you have one. Because coming soon doesn't mean anything anymore. Everybody wants one. I certainly hope there is a peace deal coming soon. But I'm willing to wait to hear the words, we have a deal, rather than, we got a deal coming soon. So I just, I don't know, it just kind of deflates, I guess, the anticipation. Another one announced that they're on the precipice, apparently have a framework for a deal involving Greenland, and everything I read about it seems to be in line with what I suggested. I had said, we're not going to take over Greenland. We're not going to march in there and put a new government in place or anything like that. What we ought to do is negotiate for more lease and airbase space and defensive dome space, and not threaten the Danes with anything. but sit down, negotiate a deal. Apparently, that is exactly what they've done. Time will tell. I don't know that they've inked it on paper yet. But if it comes to fruition that we have greater presence in Greenland for air defense, I say more power to the president, because he has this way of doing things. He makes a lot of bravado up front. Oh, we're going to take Greenland one way or another, blah, 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 blah. Then they go into a room and they negotiate some kind of deal, which probably they would not have had if he hadn't made a lot of blustery noise. It's the way he makes deals. And it's worked for him. If they come out of this meeting with a deal on Greenland that provides us the security and NATO the security they need, he struck a great deal. If it meant his bravado, his threatening tones, or what have you, caused them to sit down at the table, more power to him. More power to him. All right, let's talk to Mark this morning. He's in Gladwin this time. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Good.
What a difference 24 hours makes on Greenland, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, the reason why Trump announced a potential deal with Ukraine and Russia is Zelensky pulled him aside at that Davos and said they're down to one sticking point.
And how long they've been down to that one sticking point?
That I don't know.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. How many times
Okay.
now in the past year have they announced, oh, we're close to a deal? We're close to a deal. We still don't have a deal.
Do you like
Whether it's one sticking
transparent-
point, whether it's one sticking point or a dozen sticking points, a sticking point is a sticking point. You don't have a deal till you settle it.
Well,
So-
it's transparency. So I guess I can't fault him for
No,
being an open,
I don't.
transparent.
Well, I don't fault him for being open and transparent, but I do think overhype can be just as damaging because nobody will believe you. You say it often enough, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Well, the sky never falls. Nobody believes you anymore. So I would wait until I've got it inked. Look, folks, we have a deal. Okay, great.
Right.
We get on with it.
Hey, one other topic I wanted to touch on was out in Minnesota, they had some fraud going on that's been uncovered.
Yes,
And it was some of it was under autism centers where there were nobody there, but they were getting kickbacks and sent back to the Somalia. Well, to bring it closer to home, on Columbus and Bay City, there's a new building that's been there for a year, and it's got autism written on the front of it. Is there a way to get somebody on there to explain their services so I can maybe do an open house and visit and see what they're all about?
We'll try. I haven't heard about
Nobody's been there for a year. Yeah.
We'll try.
That building's been there. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's all I had on that
All
for
right.
today. So
Good enough.
stay warm.
Good luck. Take care, Mark.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, stay warm. Right. Mm-hmm. 989-752-6111, the number to call to be a part of the program, whatever you'd like to chat about on this Thursday morning. Let me take a moment to talk about Quick Lane Freeland and McDonald Ford. It's the same property. It's owned by McDonald Ford, but Quick Lane Freeland is where you go for all your routine maintenance and tires, because Quick Lane Freeland sells tires at just $5 over cost. And not only do they sell tires, but they know tires. For example, the difference between winter tires and all-season tires. And to explain that, I've asked John from Quick Lane Freeland to give us a little education.
Hello, Art. Yes, winter tires are made with a pliable rubber compound that includes silica to stay flexible and maintain grip in freezing temperatures, unlike harder all-season tires which stiffen and lose traction in the cold. This flexible compound allows the tire to better conform to the road surface, providing superior grip and traction on snow and ice to keep you safe.
Thanks, John. Stop in today and have the folks at Quick Lane Freeland check your tires for you. Also, have them check your cooling system because, if the temperature's getting down where they are, it's important to have the right amount of antifreeze in your cooling system. While you're there, stop on over to McDonald Ford and look at the complete lineup of Ford vehicles waiting for you, as well as an extensive pre-owned inventory which provides something for every budget. Stop in today, McDonald Ford and Quick Lane Freeland. Remember those two names because they will serve you well for all your automotive needs in 2026.
The Mega Millions drawing comes on. This is a test of the emergency.
Hi, we're back with you here on WSGW. Back to our phones. Carl is in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. When you speak to Mark Terragrossa, if you think of it, ask him why the coldest weather that seems to be coming is coming to like southeast Michigan, not north of here but like right here, Saginaw Bay, Midland. Would you maybe ask him why seem to be right in the center of the coldest weather?
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Okay. Yeah. And speaking of cold weather, you're talking about Greenland and Trump's negotiating skill. From what I understand, we already have treaty rights for like a dozen bases in Greenland, and we had bases there in World War II.
We have a base there right now.
We have one base now, but we have the rights to those other bases still under treaty. So none of this was necessary. We can do pretty much whatever we want there. And Denmark has said, fine.
Well, I would be cautious of that because we would have if we could have. That's my opinion. That's all it is.
No.
Well,
I don't think so.
Well, I do.
We have a treaty. We already have a treaty.
What does that treaty say?
And
specifically,
it says that
it says we can do anything we want.
Goes back. It says we have right to these bases. And we can send men and equipment, planes, ships. There's no problem with that. The Danes don't have a problem with that. And, actually, this goes back to after World War I, we signed a treaty where Denmark got Greenland and we got the U.S. Virgin Islands. And that's a treaty we signed back in like 1919, something like that. And then after World War II, we signed another treaty, and it gave us the right to keep bases on Greenland.
Well, it's called the 1951 Greenland Defense Agreement. It allowed the U.S. to keep its 3 main military bases in Greenland, Thule, Narsarsuaq, and Sandstrom, and to establish new bases or defense areas if deemed necessary by NATO, not the U.S.
Okay.
The agreement allows U.S. troops to freely use and move between these bases, but NATO would have had the control of where those new defense areas are established. So he did need to sit down with NATO.
Well, okay, but we could have 3 bases right now today, and we're not even doing that.
Well, but there may be a reason. I don't know whether those bases were not useful. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, sure.
And besides, that goes back to 1951, and what we're looking for today may be quite different than what we were looking for in 1951. Today we're looking for missile possible. Interruption.
Well, the sea routes are opening now, and that is a change from, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, So, but none of this is bringing down grocery prices or electricity prices or insurance prices. And I heard somebody say, that we made a bargain with Trump. We don't really like him. He's kind of sleazy, but he knows how to fix the economy. Well, he hasn't fixed the economy. He hasn't lowered prices.
Gee, just like every other president who we make a deal with, it takes time. Time will tell. As I've said before many times, he has until about mid-spring to make something happen, because then we get into the campaign position, and it's all about the midterms. So we'll see.
Does it seem like his focus is on lowering prices?
He's multi-focused. I'll give him that. He does multitask. He stays up all day to do it.
Yeah, like building ballrooms.
But I'm not interested in it. I'm interested in results. Show me results.
Yeah, I would like to see some results.
Well, I think we have in somewhere. We've seen results in some areas. It's going to take.
Okay. Yes.
So if you're only going to look for the areas that are negative, well, then that's what you'll find. It's one side. One side only looks for the negatives. The other side only looks for the positives. Interesting how that works,
yes,
isn't
exactly.
it? Exactly.
That's what I hear. One side is saying the positives. That's what I hear.
And I hear your side saying nothing but the negatives, without any credit for the positives. So take it for what it's worth.
I have given Trump credit before, Art, if you remember. I gave him credit for Gaza. I gave him credit for the southern border. So it's not like he doesn't get any credit.
Yeah. Okay.
He is not the victim. He is not the victim here, Art.
All right. Good enough.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye. And Scott's in Saginaw to counter.
Yes, I am. Carl did say that there was a treaty and we could just about do anything in Greenland. If that's the case, then why did Carl call last week and he was worried about Trump invading?
Yeah, well,
so it doesn't. He's playing both sides.
And
of it.
as I read to him, the treaty states that any defense areas needed will be deemed by NATO, not by the U.S.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of funny though. Last week, Carl was arguing that we don't need Greenland. Now he's arguing we already have it, and so this once again just proves the TDS. He just argues whatever side of the point that Trump is against. And so, last week he was against Trump having Greenland. This week we already own it. We didn't need to do anything. So it's just kind of weird. And then as far as the prices go, I remember Carl for 4 years didn't complain about any of the prices under Biden. And now all of a sudden they're lower than they were under Biden, and he's going to complain. So I think you just called it. He's a lot of us only see one side.
Yeah, and that's true for both sides, isn't it?
Well, it is. And here's another one, though.
That's what makes a horse race.
Well, it is somewhat. But here's another one that's coming to the forefront now, too. They're talking about on the news this morning about Chinese are having approximately 100,000 babies a year here in America. After they're born, they ship them back to China, indoctrinate them for 18 years, and then ship them back here, and they are U.S. citizens. They can vote, they can run for president, and they can do whatever they want. This is a dangerous thing again. This is why.
That. I'll have to listen for that one.
Yeah, look it up. It's out there. It's coming. Terry Schweitzer just wrote a book on it. And
all right.
So it's kind of been out there for a while. All right, I'll leave you on that.
Good enough. Thanks, Scott. Take care.
Right,
bye now. 989-752-6111, the number to call and join in on the conversation.
Wohlfeils Ace Hardware is your...
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Lines open for you. back to our phones in a moment. Just a note on Greenland. You know, in the media, it seems to be really simplified. President wants to take it over, this, that, the other thing. What you don't hear about are all of the agreements in place that govern our relationship with Greenland and Denmark and NATO. There is, as I mentioned, the 1951 agreement, which allows for military bases, but NATO can then decide where additional bases go. There is also the Defense of Greenland agreement between the United States and Denmark. There are lots of these little agreements floating around out there that all have different approaches. We recently, for example, renamed Thule Air Force Base, which was the base in Greenland that we still have. And it's a strategic base because it's designed to watch for missiles coming over the poles. It's been renamed Tufik or something like that because it is now no longer an Air Force base. It is now a space base charged with monitoring for missiles and things. And they renamed it to honor the cultures of Greenland, some folks that were displaced with the expansion of the base. So there's a lot that goes on, and that you don't realize it until all of a sudden something makes the news. Then you find out there's all these little pieces behind the scenes you didn't know about. That's why it's very difficult to judge by simply what you hear in the media, because there's so much more behind it that you don't hear about. All right, let's talk to it's like Jerry in Bay City. Jerry, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm calling because I was listening to your program earlier today when you guys were talking about taxes on tourism.
Yeah.
And the U.S. Constitution's import-export clause. So, that import-export clause affects Michigan in the form of, it limits our ability to put a tax on Canadian trash. And you may not know it, but Michigan imports 3.4 to 3.5 million tons of Canadian trash every year.
It's well publicized. We went through a period a few years ago where it was big news.
Sure. So the governor can't put any kind of a tariff or import tax on that because of the import-export clause. So what they're trying to do is, we'll put a tax on all trash. Say we'll go like, I don't know, $5 a ton or $7 a ton or something like that.
Everybody pays, yeah.
Exactly. Everybody's got to pay it. And,
it's going to be interesting to see if the courts rule in favor of Hawaii on this tourism tax. Because in effect, particularly when it comes to cruise lines, they're not taxing a country. It's not like a tariff tax on a country. They're taxing the private enterprise. That is the owner of the ship.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, if they had said we're going to raise the hotel tax, okay, you can do that. But to try and find other ways and go after other entities with essentially what is a tourism tax, I don't know how the courts are going to rule on it. It's going to be interesting to watch it. Because
we'll see.
If they're allowed to get away with it, there's going to be a whole bunch of people fall in line. Other states will try the same thing.
Yeah, I'd love to see Michigan try that. The thing is, this Doug Ford, the Ontario premier, he just can't stand the United States, and I'd love to just put the blockade down and say, you know what, keep your trash. We don't even want it.
That's what I'd love to do. I mean, we should do that. Canada is bigger by land than the United States, yet they only have like 30 million people. What do they do with the rest of their land? You mean you cannot find a hole in the ground to put your trash? You know, I can't believe that. And I never could believe that.
Not.
I just,
well,
to them, I guess it must be cheaper to send it over here. I don't know.
Well, I think it ties back to their green initiatives. They want to recycle everything and they want to be green.
Yeah.
So, but they can't. That's just a pie in the sky wish. So they have no choice. But
they want us to be green too.
Out.
They want us to be green, but they'll ship us their stuff.
Sure.
It makes it's never made sense to me. But fact is, the state must think they're making money on it. I don't know. It boggles my mind.
You know, I did some more math on this thing, and, you know, those big trucks that you see pulling in, I think that they carry somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 tons each. So if you do the math and divide this out, that's 350 trucks a day, assuming a 5-day work week. And think of the wear and tear on our roads.
Yeah,
we got to pay for those roads.
We're getting a lot of trucks. I don't think we're getting that many, but we get a lot of trucks and we get a lot of tonnage. There's no doubt about it. To me, I mean, it's wrong on its face to take that trash. I mean, to me, it's just plain wrong. And it should be used as a negotiating tool if we have any need to push back on Ontario, which we do with this new head of Ontario government. I think we ought to be pushing this guy hard.
I agree. So. And I've left messages with the U.S. senators and congressmen, and I obviously don't get any response. But
that's all right.
That's all you can do is write them a letter, right?
You're expressing your voice. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
real quick.
If you got time, real quick, I got one question. The Bridgeport School Board, there's a recall vote going on for some of the school board members.
Right.
And I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe there's some folks in Saginaw and Bridgeport that can call in and explain to us what exactly is going on there.
All right. We'll try.
Okay.
Good enough, Jerry.
All
Thanks.
right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Art.
Yep.
Bye.
A break, and we'll be back. Let's see. William in Bay City. Hang on. We'll get to you next.
For 60 years, West
This week's deal on RocketCrabPlus.com is for Fran and Dot Boutique, located in downtown Bay City. This amazing deal will have you shopping your heart out with a $100 certificate for only $50.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and back to our phones. William is in Bay City. William, good morning.
Good morning. What I was going to say, what they could do if the people of Greenland want to keep it, give them the southern tip and draw a line north of there, like 100, 200 miles, whatever, an east-west line, and they keep everything to the south and pay Denmark so many millions every year for 20 years to stretch it out.
Yeah, but Denmark and NATO would have to agree to that. You can't just dictate it.
Well, it's a suggestion. It seems like that'd be a fair thing to do.
Well, apparently, whatever framework they've agreed to, NATO and Denmark have agreed to it. So it looks like, hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, the problem is solved. We won't hear too much more about it. They'll just go about doing whatever they need to do. And realistically, how much territory do we really need to set up missile defense? You need to have the technology to be able to detect the missiles. But it's not like we need a whole country to do that,
We need the precious minerals there, too, though.
Well, that's another part of it, but that belongs to them. Do we have rights to it? I guess that's the question that part of the negotiation revolves around.
Or maybe we could, split it or something like that.
Well, it's theirs, so has to come to an agreement.
But we want to buy it from. We just need to secure them. We'll pay for it.
If they agree to it. This is not a one-sided deal. This is multi-sided, and you have to have everybody on the same page.
I know, but the land practically is useless to them. They're not making good use of it.
Which is their land, though. Yeah. What can I tell you? It's theirs.
Well, maybe they figure they like it because